I'd say that side's straight. And this side has a little bit of a bow in the middle of it. We'll just give that a little adjustment. This piece is all relatively straight. Very close, very, very close. So now I'll just check for 90s. So it looks like, I don't know if you can see it on the video, from about here out, and about the same on this side. They flare out, this one this way, that one that way, just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to where it's last flat, about here, put one crescent wrench on it, and then put another crescent wrench beside it, and slowly just give her a little bend and try and get her back into straight. You can see this tab here is definitely warped out there, so we're going to put something flat against it, and this one is as well, so we'll just make them straight. The rails themselves seem to be relatively straight. It's just when you get to this part you can see that big gap, so we'll get her fixed on each side with crescent wrenches and a straight bar. Perfect. Okay, so once everything was straightened out, I got those tabs looking good. It was time for reassembly. Not a lot of detail in that because I really couldn't get a good angle and I didn't have a free hand for the video, but basically feeding it through, replacing the washers. I went over, looked at the other awning about 28 times to make sure that I was putting all the right spots, like hook connection points, all the same. And then the inside lock washer thingies that go on the shaft that hold it all together, I had to go buy about a couple handfuls of them just so that I have them on stock in case I ever need them. I just hold them over, put a socket that's just a little bit bigger, the opening of the socket's a little bigger than the shaft that they're going on, and tap them with a hammer. I put a little piece of metal bar underneath it just to give it something hard to tap against. A couple taps, bam, it was on. Okay, I've managed to knock them all on. I did a good look on the other side to make sure I was doing these symmetrically. This was probably the hardest piece to put in. It's the last section because of the shock, but not unsurmountable if you leave it wide open. All right, the arm is all put back together. The idler's fixed. So let's see how she all clips back together here. All right, nothing snapped off. That's a good sign. Knob at the top, and bam. Looks like a solid head there. I'm probably gonna put some glue, just a little bit of epoxy or something on here, just to hold her steady, but maybe not. We'll see. Something I failed to think about, I assembled the head and then went to put it on and didn't realize that the plastic molding of the head actually has to go over the arm so that the holes line up. So save yourself the grief, put it together with the back on it only. Okay, the bolts are on. I made a point of putting the hex heads, apologize for the lighting. The hex heads are going to be on the inside of the awning, so when I'm sitting under my awning and look out, it looks a lot nicer. And the nylock locking nuts are on this side. I did put washers before the nylocks. I'll be trimming those off with my Dremel and just giving them a little squirt of spray paint to blacken them out. But yeah, time to put that front head back on. Okay, so far the only part I'm not happy about is right here where some clips have broken. See how that moves a little bit? My fear is I'll be driving down the road and this will pop off. So I may just resort to a bit of crazy glue. I don't happen to have any right now, but I'll put a drop on there, hold it, and tighten it up, call it a day. Peace of mind. So I've put it all together again. I applied some butyl tape to the rail that goes right against the trailer. In all the spots screws will penetrate. Took off the old butyl tape off the trailer that stuck on there just to keep it nice and clean. The only thing I'm missing at this point is that wax screw for the other awning arm that goes through to lock the motor to the shaft. So I can't really do that assembly again till I figure out if there's anything special about a wax screw. Is it just a screw that has wax on it, or is wax screw a term for something like a shearing screw or something that I'm not familiar with? So I have some questions out. Hopefully I'll get an answer for that, but I don't want to start reassembly till I have that one last part. Otherwise, everything's assembled, everything's ready to rock and roll. I think it's going to be just fine. Yeah. So far, what have I had to buy? I had to go and get a bunch of those internal locking washer things, the bolts for the head, stainless steel bolts, washers, and nylocks. Did I buy epoxy? No, I had epoxy. I had to buy butyl tape. So I think butyl tape was 20 bucks for a 30-foot roll. I used maybe 10 inches of it. So we'll call that a couple bucks. We'll call it a buck. I don't know. The washers and all that cost me $10, and the elbow grease was free because I just give that up for myself. So far I'm figuring I'm under $20 for this repair, aside from my time to put it together. So I am gonna do a good sanity check on the other arm before assembly as well. I still have to trim off the excess from the nylock where the bolt sticks through, and give it a little squirt of paint on that just to clean that up. But I believe we're done aside from assembly. So the next video will be me putting the arm back on, and by then I'll have a wax screw. So, and then we'll do a final review of the in and out of the awning, get it lined up, make sure everything's copacetic the way it's supposed to be working, and hopefully put this to bed, and hope we don't have something happen in the next long weekend that I have to make an entire video series for you guys. Although I kind of enjoyed it. So here we go. Just one final ask. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and let me keep creating content. I'd love to get 1,000 subscribers and potentially even monetize this. Not my main goal, but let's just say everybody needs to have a target. So let's start with that. 1,000 followers is what I'm looking for. So tell your friends, tell your cousins, nephews, get your dog an account, make them sign up, your cats. I'm not picky. I don't care who my subscribers are. So let me know what you want to see. Again, any tips, advice, anything like that would be taken well. So thank you.